You're right, guys, and welcome to the latest episode of Muscle Owl Talks. I'm here with Jon Hastie
Hi.
on a very special episode for World Duchenne Awareness Day 2017. You might have seen we've had different episodes throughout the day, but I thought this would be a really good opportunity to talk about the topic of World Duchenne Awareness Day this year, which is dreams. That I guess can be spoken about in many different ways. I've seen lots of videos of young children talking about their dreams that they have for when they're older, young children with Duchenne muscular dystrophy. But I felt on first hearing that this was the chosen topic, I thought that it would be really good to kind of talk about maybe with somebody like yourself, Jon, at 36 years old.
Yeah.
What were your dreams? Were you told, hey, have all these dreams, or were you told, or maybe not so many dreams? And then it kind of like, how did you go about accomplishing them? How did you go about overcoming the obstacles and any barriers that you saw in the way? And I mean, as people may know now, you run DMD Pathfinders, fantastic charity in the UK, exclusively run by adults with Duchenne muscular dystrophy. And I mean, you do so many things. So, yeah, I don't know. Jon, give us your life story.
Yeah. Well, I think when I was younger, I don't think I had any huge dreams. I think I wanted to be a writer, an author. I've always enjoyed writing. I mean, I don't know to what extent my the dreams maybe weren't physical because I knew that that wasn't necessarily feasible. But I think certainly as I got older, I'm not sure. I can't really think of what I dreamt to be, and I think the reason for that is I didn't really have any dreams because I wasn't sure about the life expectancy, and I think that's one of the biggest challenges for people is to the first step is to actually have the dreams and be open to thinking of what might be possible and thinking about a future. I think these days there very clearly is a future for people that they need to plan for. So it is important to have those dreams and ambitions. I mean, I think maybe although I hadn't had like big dreams, I think I'd always kind of taken it day by day, or at least one step at a time. So I had I know I wanted to go to university, and then once I'd done the first degree, I knew I wanted to be a master's, and I wanted to get a PhD, and that was kind of my dream. And then gradually as I've moved through that and achieved what I wanted to achieve, then I've set more kind of goals for myself. I think so. It has been on a kind of as I'm going along basis, rather than having a big long-term future goal in mind. I think that goes to your dreams can be any size really. They can be like small things that you just want to achieve here and now, or they can be bigger goals that you're working towards. I think had I known back then what I know now, then I think maybe things would have been a bit different. If I knew I was potentially living to 36 and beyond, then I think that changes your perspective completely. And I think like these days, no one knows what will happen. You could live to 50 at the moment, but I think even for we're looking at the younger people with DMD now, it could be much beyond that because we've got treatments coming through the pipeline that might be available, and there are certainly things that could be prolonging life expectancy even further than that. So I think we could have quite long lives. So it is important to have those dreams, I think.
No, absolutely. And I think it's really interesting, almost fascinating that we think about all the different obstacles that may lie in the path for a young adult with Duchenne muscular dystrophy in accomplishing their dreams. We don't often think that the first and initial obstacle is perception
mm,
itself, and that thing of being told, well, you've got a low life expectancy, you're not going to be able to accomplish this, you're not going to be able to do that, and
yeah,
sort of being able to see ahead into one's own life. I think that's because obviously that, I mean, I was going to say, well, what are the key things that have held you back, over the years that you've had to overcome in the way of physicality, really? But that's such a key thing, isn't it? I mean, our friend Vivek always says, he always says, I didn't think I'd live to this age, and says when you do, and you've been told you don't, you often think, gosh, what now?
yeah,
But yeah,
def-
if in the way of the physical obstacles,
mm,
in getting your PhD and
mm, mm,
living independently and all these other things, would you say that it's been a struggle to get these things? What advice would you give to other young adults with DMD that
mm.
want to accomplish these things?
Yeah, I think the biggest challenges for me to achieve what I wanted to achieve, including the PhD, is really getting the care funding sorted and having the support that you need in order to allow you to do what you want to do. So it's got to be more than just stuck at your home getting the basic level of care provision. We've got to like to go to university and to live independently. I needed the care in place to do that, and I think that's got more of an issue as I've got older, definitely. So in terms of my goals of like living fully independently in my own home, then I think that uh, the biggest challenge there was getting the social care support sorted and actually being able to move away from the family home. I mean, there were also challenges in terms of housing availability, and accessible housing is really hard to come by. So that's a very big challenge to overcome. I think very few of the challenges I've faced have been related to Duchenne specifically. It's not the symptoms of my condition that cause the problem. It's society, and it's the lack of support, the lack of provision, and the constant need to fight for what you need in terms of equipment and care.
Mm-hmm.
So I think those are the biggest challenges. I mean, going back to what you're saying about perception, that is very important, and I think what we found when we were working with Action Duchenne on the Taking Charge project was it's so important to kind of to reach people when they're younger and actually get the message across that you do have a future and it's okay to dream and aspire to things. I think, um, and I do think it's it's easy. I mean, you often have people telling you that you're not going to be able to do things. So I think you do have to kind of address that as well. And I think sometimes that's not always someone negatively saying that, oh, this is impossible because of your life expectancy. It can also come from a very positive, caring place in that, I've had, family tell me that, oh, well, maybe you're not going to be able to achieve this. But that came from a place of preparing me for the worst, I suppose. But it was, had I listened to that advice, I wouldn't have got to where I am today. And I think also, in terms of moving out, living independently, the kind of advice was, oh, maybe this is going to be too complicated. You're going to find it too difficult. You're going to get lonely. It's all about kind of people that care for you, not wanting to see you like, you know, have your hopes dashed or to not achieve what you want to achieve or be unhappy. So I
Mm.
think, there's a fine line to be struck there because you do sometimes need to adapt and kind of revise your expectations and your dreams. But I think you can't do that too easily. You know, if you give up on your dream too quickly, I think
Mm,
uh, then you know you're really missing out because actually it might be a little tricky to do something, but you can do it. So I think
mm.
really you really need to give it your very best shot, and really you do need to be prepared to take risks. I think.
Yeah, that's interesting. It's kind of like adaptability of dreams, and maybe
Mm,
accomplishing dreams in ways that you might not have thought that would, you would have set out to do them initially.
mm,
In terms
mm.
of that idea of managing expectations for any parents watching, that seems like a key, and again something I hadn't really thought about in depth, because I always say don't tell them this, don't,
Mm.
let them think that, let people think they can do anything. But then there is that key thing of managing expectations there, and obviously,
Mm.
as you say, it comes from a place of caring. So how do you think parents should address it when it's, when we're kind of saying, okay, don't tell them that they can't do things, but then also
Yeah,
manage expectations down the other end of the
yeah.
spectrum?
I mean, I think it's about being realistic and saying this may be difficult, but I'll be there to support you to give it a try. And I think the fact is we don't know what's possible until we push the boundaries and test things out. Like I know when people came on the Taking Charge project and they said, "Oh, I want to learn to drive," and some of us adults were like, "Really? Like, can they do that?" Like, we didn't even ourselves, we didn't think that was possible, but it was, and they are. So, I think it just goes to show that we may think we know that something's impossible, but actually it's not. And I think, it's about going on that journey together and trying to achieve the outcome. But I think sometimes you need to be not afraid to let people fail as well, and you know try but not succeed, and then to move on. But I think what you've got to avoid is people not even trying because they might fail.
Yeah.
And I think it is careful, it is tricky, but we can't wrap people up in cotton wool, and
Mm,
we just need to try and
mm,
potentially fail and
yeah.
deal with that as it comes, really.
Yeah, I think often in failing, you end up learning new things, and you end up
Mm,
finding new paths as well. Gosh,
mm.
that's key. Wow. Should we finish by mentioning DMD Pathfinders, your charity? Is there anything upcoming and that people might be interested in?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're just actually in the process of recruiting a fundraising and volunteer coordinator, and what we're really keen to work on over the next few months is building up volunteering opportunities for primarily for adults with DMD, but also for other people that want to support us as well. And we have a few ideas of things that might involve. So, things like uh, campaign ambassadors to represent adults, like newsletter editors, and people to come out with us on outreach events, raising awareness and that kind of thing. Also, to support us with fundraising so we can achieve some of the projects that we're looking to do, but don't currently have the funds to. And I think there's going to be a lot of opportunities. And also, what we want to do is work with adults themselves to say, what interests you, what motivates you, and how can you help us, basically. So, maybe people have their own ideas about things they could volunteer and do, and we're very open to exploring that with people.
Mm,
Um, so that's one thing. We're also currently working on our nutrition guide, which we're going to be releasing at the Action Duchenne conference in November, and that brings us on to the conference itself, where we're planning a load of sessions, and one that's quite exciting that we're planning is an assistive technology marketplace. And that's going to be a couple of hours of just different providers being available to show what they can offer. in terms of assistive technology, in terms of everything from like operating a computer to a phone to controlling things in your home. And we got people coming along who actually have some expertise in how you get funding for this kind of equipment as well. So it's looking at what's available, but also practically how do you get it? And I think that's just one of many sessions we're going to be running. But yeah, we're really looking forward to it, and I think it's shaping up to be a very good event. But I think more than anything, what we want right now is adults to be coming forward and getting involved with us. We've got lots of opportunities. I think we want to hear from people as to what they want to see from an organization, and we want our members to grow and to develop. And I think DMD Pathfinders is about being user led, so it's not, don't have everything set out in terms of what we want to achieve. There's still an opportunity for people to actually contribute and come up with their own ideas and push those forward within the organization as well.
That's wonderful. Well, we'll certainly be keeping up to date and keeping everyone up to date and following everything over the coming weeks and months. Jon, wonderful episode for World Duchenne Awareness Day 2017. And hopefully we'll have some more episodes with you in the months ahead, and
I hope so.
Continue giving more amazing advice to many other young people and adults as well. Awesome. Right, thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you again soon. Bye, guys.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.